Senior political analyst David Gergen, who was an advisor to 4 presidents, and historian Jon Meacham, author of Destiny and Power. Good evening, gentlemen. So let's work this out. Let's hash out this conversation right now. Ari, you first. What's your take on whether Donald Trump's children should be granted top security clearance?
Yeah, that gives me a lot of pause, Don. I don't understand why. I understand that they're a close family, that they are advisors to the president-elect, and that's fine and good. But you have to make a sharp line when you enter into the government, particularly when you deal with the government's most important secrets. And only the people who need to know should know what those secrets are. If his children aren't working in full-time positions in the United States government, they should not have access to clearance.
John, is there any precedent for this?
I don't think so. There may be something I'm not aware of, but most presidents manage to keep, particularly since President Kennedy, managed to keep this compartmentalized. They keep family close, obviously, and informal advisors close. But the actual flow of classified information is something that's been quite institutionalized. David would know well.
Yeah, David, let's get you in on this. Do you think that this is likely to happen, especially given that the children are meant to be running, the president-elect's business affairs?
Well, I think at this stage he makes a request, but once he has the inauguration, he's the president. He can decide on his own if he wants to do this. The question is whether it's prudent or not. And I think on that issue, first of all, it is normally restricted. There are 1 or 2 members of the White House staff who mostly are on the domestic side who get clearances. The Chief of Staff, the Counsel of the President, I would assume Steve Bannon and Mr. Priebus will have national security clearances. But after that, you don't do it as a rule. And the nepotism rules prevent Mr. Trump from bringing in members of his family. You could potentially put Jared Kushner on a defense advisory board of some sort, in which case he could get clearance. But I think it would be, I think it's a bad idea to have 4 members of your family come in. That's just unprecedented. But it's a horrible idea to have those same people running your business,
right,
or at least your main children. You can't have people running a massive business with lots of international connections at the same time getting national security top secret materials. The conflicts there are so deep and so obvious, especially in the wake of all the controversy about the Clinton Foundation. You would think this would be the last thing they'd be thinking about.
Yeah. Do you think it's, I ask you again, do you think it's likely to happen? You said at this point it's just a request. But once he becomes president, he can do it himself. Do you think it's likely to happen?
I wouldn't be surprised if at least 1 of the 4 gets the security clearance. I would be dumbfounded. I think the fact that Ari Fleischer is having real pause, I think tells you a lot about the wisdom of this.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ari, let's move on. I think all of you are in agreement that it's, it gives you all pause. Ari, Donald Trump's top aides are fighting it out. That's what we're hearing. Is that a good way to start out when there are so many important positions that need to be